Hello, I'm Janice and I hope you are all doing well. Before we unbox this package that just got delivered, I just want to wish you, in case I don't get to say it on the day, happy Mid-Autumn Festival. I hope you have a really nice dinner. I hope you have some really nice mooncakes. I hope the moon is nice and round for you. We will be trying a whole series, a number of different mooncakes later in this video. Some traditional ones, some less traditional ones, so I'm super excited about that. But what we're about to do right now is I got a package delivered from the Hong Kong Tourism Board, and I think this is what we're going to be eating for dinner tonight. We have, oh wow. Now, what is in this bag? It's actually quite heavy. So we have a thing of pork, soy sauce, honey, hoisin sauce, Chinese cooking wine, dark soy sauce, gailan. So we've got some gailans. Okay, I thought this was spring onions, but this is what it looks like. I've never seen spring onions like this. I mean, do they come into the supermarkets with the ends chopped off? I've never seen a spring onion with like an onion-like thing at the bottom. Maybe that's why they're called spring onions. Ginger and garlic, a packet of Chinese 5-spice. In case you aren't already able to guess what we're going to be making for tonight, we're making char rice. Now, I tried making this, I think 4 weeks ago or something like that. So I cannot wait to try a slightly different recipe and see how it turns out. Okay, so according to the recipe, we need to marinate this overnight, and according to the recipe I followed previously, that's what we had to do as well. But we've got some time before dinner and I really want to eat char siu tonight. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and marinate it and eat it all in one day. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, so our pork neck meat has been marinating in the marinade for a while now, and I think we're ready to start cooking it up. So in terms of the instructions on how to make this, it's a little bit different to the instructions I got for my previous video. So this one you can actually use like a standard stovetop to make it and then finish it off in the oven. So essentially what I would need to do is to grill it over high heat, 4 minutes on each side, and then put it in a preheated oven for 5 minutes, and then resting it afterwards for 10. So I'm really keen to see how that would turn out. Okay, the pork is now in the oven. I've set a timer for 5 minutes. I think I might leave it in for a little bit longer because it is quite thick. Anyway, we now move on to making the sweet soy sauce, which involves heating a small saucepan, and then I need to add oil, spring onions, garlic, ginger, and then fry for about 2 minutes until fragrant. Add soy sauce, dark soy sauce, sugar, a 1/4 cup of water, bring it to simmer for about 5 minutes, and then I strain it after it's cooled. I'm slurring my words because I'm getting a bit hungry. Please bear with me here. Okay, it looks a lot pinker on my camera than it actually is. Like, looking at it, it doesn't look as pink as it looks on camera, so just an FYI. Because this has been in the oven for a lot longer than 5 minutes. It's really nice. All right, we now have in front of us char siu rice. I've tried a bit of the sweet soy sauce. That one is absolutely delicious. Now, in terms of the color, it's a little bit different to the ones that you get at the store. Those ones are a lot more red because, as I understand it, they put some red coloring in it. I do have to say it does make a difference how long you marinate these meats for. Last time when I tried making char siu, I marinated it for at least 24 hours and the flavors were a lot more enhanced. But that is okay because we have the sweet soy sauce that we can kind of drizzle on the char siu. The flavors of the spring onion, garlic, and ginger is just completely infused in the soy sauce. I've never made it like this by myself before, but I actually really like the taste. And I think when I have more time, when I make veggies, I think that is the type of like soy sauce that I might drizzle around the veggies because it just enhances the flavors. Okay, so as I was cooking my dish, I was really hungry and I started slurring my words. But now that I've finished my plates, now that I polished my dish, I feel really sleepy. I don't know if you can tell. So I'm gonna end the segment here, but we are not done with this video just yet. There's still so much more that I wanna feature. So I'll see you very shortly in just a little bit. All right, I have got myself a cup of tea to fully prepare myself for the next segment that we have in this video. So Mid-Autumn Festival is coming up, and one of the most iconic items associated with Mid-Autumn Festival is mooncakes. And what we're going to be doing in this segment is I have got myself a whole range of different types of mooncakes so that by the time this video comes out, you will still have time to go and get these from the shops if you want to. So what is Mid-Autumn Festival, you might ask? It is the 15th day of the 8th month in the Chinese calendar. And supposedly this is the time when the moon is the brightest, it's the roundest, it's like closest in its orbit to the earth. And traditionally what we usually do for Mid-Autumn Festival is we would get together as a family and we would have like a really delicious meal, and my mum would make soup, and then we would gather as a family and we would have mooncakes. And when I was like a lot younger, we would actually go out into the streets with our lanterns. We would take it out and then we would just walk around the street with our lanterns. Hey Eunice, what? Do you remember what we did for Zhongcaozi? Did we just take our lanterns and walk around in the streets? Long story short, when we were kids, we would go outside and we would have a lantern and we'd just walk around and look at all the other kids with their lanterns. Anyway, this year we won't be able to do that, and this year unfortunately we won't be able to have like a big family dinner. It's just going to be me and my sister. We still eat enough for the rest of the family, but that's besides the point. So what I want to do is I have got 7 mooncakes in front of me, and for those who are familiar with mooncakes, don't worry, I'm not going to be eating all of these mooncakes in one sitting. In fact, I'm not going to even finish one. For those who are unfamiliar with mooncakes, I need to really highlight and stress the fact that a mooncake like this is not for consumption in its entirety by one person. Like, you cannot, I mean, of course you can, but I would highly suggest against finishing an entire mooncake by yourself. I would suggest like eating maybe 1/8 of that. This is something that has to be shared, and if you don't have anybody to share it with, just eat it over like a week or something. So the first mooncake that we are trying is a red bean mooncake. This is what the inside looks like. The red bean paste that has been packed in this mooncake. The red bean isn't overly sweet. I personally don't mind red beans. So in terms of the mooncake skin, it's like a mixture of flour, vegetable oil, golden syrup. So it's actually quite sweet, and the oil just makes it sort of glisten in the light. This one's not bad. If you like red beans, I think you'll like it, but my favorite is gonna come a little bit later in this episode. All right, the next thing that we are trying is the pure white lotus paste mooncake. So these smaller mooncakes, I think I got them for $3 at my local Asian grocery store. This actually smells quite sweet, and it also smells quite peanutty because it uses a lot of peanut oil in the mooncake filling. Yeah, I typically prefer white lotus more, but this one doesn't taste like the ones that I'm more like accustomed to. I find this one a tad bit too sweet. Still not bad. Okay, so this next mooncake is a mixed nut mooncake with 1 yolk, and this came to $5 for the entire piece of mooncake. And this is more of like a square as opposed to the other one, which was more circular. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this mooncake was a lot denser to cut through. And on the inside, we have an egg yolk and we have a whole bunch of nuts sort of packed together, wrapped around in the mooncake skin. Oh, I just realized this is the ham and nut mooncake. So this is a savory kind of mooncake, and it has 5 different types of nuts in the mooncake, as well as Chinese cured ham, which is why you can sort of taste a bit of the savoriness to it. And in terms of the nuts, we have walnuts, Chinese almonds, bitter almonds, regular almonds, and also pumpkin seeds. This is a little bit different to like the sweet mooncakes. I have to say it's not usually my cup of tea. I prefer the sweet ones. All right, so the next one that we're trying is a lotus seed paste with 2 twin yolks. So as you can see, this is slightly smaller than the ham and nut mooncake, but it's still a, it's still a nice size, and it's glistening in the light because the mooncake skin usually has so much oil in it. Let's cut into it and see what it is like. Okay, this type is still my favorite, and of all the ones I've had, like I prefer this one the most. The only thing is, I find that the exterior to be, I hate this word, but it's more moist. Whereas like some of the other mooncakes, for example, this one, it's a lot drier on the top, and as you cut into it, it's super oily, and the lotus paste is also glistening in the light. Having said that, this type of mooncakes, this is still my favorite type of mooncake. There's just something about the combination of the sweet lotus paste and then the savoriness of the salted egg yolk all wrapped together in a sweet mooncake skin that's kind of been baked. I just find it really, really delicious. All right, so what I have got in front of me is 3 different types of冰皮月饼, which is the snowy mooncake. All right, let's try the mango. This is the mango mooncake from Bread Top. All right, so here we have the mango mooncake. The inside, so the filling, it's like cold green bean paste. And then you've got like a mango puree filling. It's a nice alternative to traditional mooncake if you don't really like those. Next up, we're trying the red bean and green tea white bean paste mooncake. I have high hopes for this one because it's from my favorite brand. It's got matcha flavor in that bean paste, and you can definitely taste the red beans as well. And the exterior, so the mooncake skin on this one, it's a lot more softer, and it's definitely a lot more chewier and gooier than the previous one that we've just had. So my sister didn't really like the red bean green tea icy mooncake, but I actually didn't mind it. All right, last and definitely not least, we have snowy mooncake blueberry jewel. There is a very, very strong like berry flavor, like a blueberry flavored lolly, for example. Okay, so I've cut into this. In terms of the cross section, we can see the mung bean paste and also a little bit of, I would assume, blueberry puree inside. I like that this icy mooncake skin is also very sort of chewy. It's like a mochi-like exterior, essentially. The flavor of the blueberry, it tastes like if blueberry were a lolly. For me, I would prefer the blueberry one and also the matcha one more than the mango one. If you do try a mooncake for the Mid-Autumn Festival, let me know what is your usual go-to. And if you've never had mooncakes before and you're looking to try after you've seen this video, please make sure you don't eat an entire mooncake in one sitting. All right, I'm going to pack this up and put it in the fridge, and I will check back in with you very shortly. Okay, so today it's a little bit more chilly, it's a little bit colder, and what I want to make is one of my all-time favorite soups. Super easy to prep, and once you've prepped it, you can just let it boil. It is sweet corn, carrot, and pork bone soup. You don't need a lot of ingredients. Essentially, you just need that and a couple of dates, and that's pretty much it. So that is exactly what we're gonna do right now. So in terms of the pork bone that I use something called sai si I'll find the English name and then I'll put it here. And I just put it in the freezer, and then when I need it, I take it out. First thing that we need to do is to boil these bones so that the blood water, the liquid that's in these bones are released, and so like the meat is cleaned. Okay, so as your meat is boiling in the water, what you can do now is to start preparing your veggies. So essentially what you need to do is just to chop up your corn into smaller pieces, peel your carrots, and then chop it up into smaller pieces as well, and then grab a couple of dates, because we are gonna boil up, I'd say about 4 liters of water, and then add the corn, the carrots, the dates. Okay, once we are done with boiling the pork bones, we just need to put everything into the pot and let it boil. And once the big pot boils, we lower the heat, put the lid on, and just let it simmer and do its job. Like, that's pretty much it, because all we gotta do later is add some salt and our soup is ready. So yeah, it is super easy to make your own soup. You essentially just need to chop up a bunch of ingredients, add it to a pot, let it boil, let it simmer for a few hours, and you have your very own delicious broth that you can consume with minimal prep required. So if you have any other like recommendations on soups that I can make, please let me know. I'd love to try it out. So anyway, not too long ago, I was talking to my dad about investments, and I brought up the topic of cryptocurrency, and his almost immediate reaction was, you know, this is super risky. If you're going to invest in this, make sure it's only a small portion of your entire portfolio. But what has kind of caught my attention recently and left me equal parts intrigued and puzzled are NFTs. It's somewhat baffling to me that a JPEG essentially can potentially sell for hundreds and thousands of dollars. And like more recently, I've been trying to learn about them and understand exactly what they are and how it works. So if you have an opinion on NFTs, I'd love to hear it. It's something that I'm still trying to understand, but it's intriguing to me. Anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I post new videos every week. Check them out if you have time. I hope you have an amazing rest of the week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Okay, I've left one piece of pork to be marinated overnight. This is the one that I've left in the fridge. We're gonna cook it up and see if we can tell a difference between the two. Okay, I do have to say, marinating your char siu overnight does make a difference. You can definitely taste it in the meats. It's nice.